Before we get to the video, if you would like to help me stop the madness, then please visit madnessnation.net to get all of your merchandise, or simply hit the link in the description below to donate. Remember, I cannot stop the madness without you. Madness.
Stop the madness. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Stop the Madness Crime News, where we discuss crimes that may or may not be happening in a city near you. Now, a lot of y'all probably heard about this Herbo story. When it first broke, it kind of broke around the same time the Casanova story did, and I was completely out of commission. Couldn't move, super sick. Wasn't able to do the story. But news came out today that Ari Fletcher, which is his baby mama, was identified as a witness in his federal case that he got going on. And I got a lot of stuff to talk about when it's regarding this situation and this type of situation. But since I wasn't able to do the initial story, I'm going to go ahead and get you caught up to speed real quick. And then we're going to talk about his ex-baby mama being identified as a witness who's going to be testifying. And I also need to talk to you because I want you to understand the circumstances and the consequences of your actions and the choices that you decide to make. Because this right here is a prime example. It's a prime example how people really don't have your best interests at heart. They only have what you can do for them. And we're going to talk about that. But let's get y'all caught up to speed. So here it says G Herbo and several crew members are accused of conducting a multi-year fraud scheme, according to a 14-count indictment that was filed in September and made public Wednesday. G Herbo, real name Herbert Wright III, is among 5 others facing federal charges of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, as well as aggravated identity theft. Others accused of the crimes include Herbo's manager / promoter Antonio T. Glow Strong, Joseph Joe Rodeo Williams, Stephen Hayes Jr., Demario Sorrells, and Terrence Bender. The indictment, which was filed in Massachusetts, says the defendants used stolen IDs and credit card information for trips on private jets, limo services, high-end car rentals, designer puppies. All right. In a Jamaican vacation over the span of 4 years. In total, the purchases added up to about $1.5 million. Strong was arrested in Chicago on September 25th and is also charged with wire fraud and is the suspected ringleader. Joseph Williams was granted bond after turning himself in on November 24th. G Herbo is yet to surrender to authorities, and his attorney, James Lawson, provided no comment when reached by reporters on Wednesday. The news comes a day after G Herbo was included in Forbes 30 under 30 musicians list. Let me tell you something about these feds. These feds always seem to be busting people down. One, they always busting a lot of people at the end of the year around the holiday season. So if you're doing something you know you ain't supposed to be doing and you feel they gonna come get you, they probably gonna get you in the holiday season. Or they come get you when you make some type of big announcement. You just did a new venture. It's your birthday. Something crazy like that. Then they had an update on the 3rd. G Herbo teams released a statement about his recent arrest. The Chicago rapper and several of his associates were arrested and accused of conducting a multi-million-year scheme that detailed a 14-count indictment. The statement reads, G Herbo has been charged with several crimes in Massachusetts, but he remains innocent and looks forward to establishing innocence in court. Herbo is the legal representative in Massachusetts through Prince Roble. The statement adds that Lobel's team has reached out to the U.S. Attorney Office to make arrangements for G Herbo appearance, whether in person or virtually. You can read the full statement above. Also on the 3rd, 501, G Herbo has reportedly surrendered to authorities in Los Angeles after being accused of participating in a 4-year fraud scheme. The rapper turned himself in Thursday afternoon, a day after news broke that he was charged with using stolen IDs and credit card information to make luxury purchases between 2016 and 2020. Purchases included trips on private jets, limo services, high-end car rental, designer puppies, Jamaican vacation, totaling about 1.5 million. A rep for G Herbo said he maintains his innocence and looks forward to establishing his innocence in court. Okay, it says G Herbo and his co-defendants are facing charges of conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Then we had another update on the 9th, which is today. So on Wednesday, G Herbo made his first court appearance before a federal judge in Massachusetts, where he pleaded not guilty to multiple fraud charges, appearing by Zoom and out of jail from California. G Herbo spoke briefly with U.S. Judge Catherine Robinson, answering affirmatively when she asked if he consented to a virtual court appearance. The federal prosecutor, Stephen Breslow, said Wednesday that he may ask to increase G Herbo's bond at a future date. G Herbo is currently out on $75,000 bond. The bond amount here is very, very low, particularly when one looks at the defendant's income and assets and the alleged loss amounts here, Breslow said in court. Breslow added that there are literally hundreds of victims going back years, and he wanted to make it clear that G Herbo isn't allowed to use marijuana or possess guns or ammo while his case is pending. And if you know, G Herbo is in Chicago, and you definitely don't want to have a situation where you can't have guns, because you kind of need a gun when you're in Chicago. You kind of need a gun if you're G Herbo, and then you're gonna have to make the choice between having a gun or getting caught lacking and getting your top blown off. And when the cops know you ain't supposed to have a gun and you got a high profile case like this, they'll definitely make sure they stop you and pull you over and frisk you just to try to get you back in there. So it said, Breslow added, G Herbo, whose real name is Herbert Wright III, was indicted along with 5 other charges: conspiracy, wire fraud. Okay, this is saying a bunch of the same stuff they already said on the update. The indictment filed in October and recently unsealed alleges the defendants used money to buy designer puppies, flights, jets. He faces 65 to 75 months in federal prison. James Lawson, G Herbo's attorney, requested that he be permitted to travel to New York and New Jersey for purposes of visiting his pregnant fiancee. Federal prosecutors had no objection to this request. Robinson also remarked that, "I understand Mr. Wright is a singer," and noted that there may come a time where she might have to rule whether he allowed to travel for his career. Now, this is where we get to what the video is truly about. Multiple media outlets covered G Herbo's court appearance via Zoom on Wednesday. During the hearing, it was confirmed that his fiancée was pregnant and that the Chicago rapper was facing up to about 6 years in prison. However, the Chicago Tribune, Jason Misner, later reported that Ari Fletcher, G Herbo's ex-girlfriend and the mother of his son, was revealed as a federal witness in the fraud case. Prosecutors also identified one of the witnesses in the case as a woman with initials AF who shares a child with Wright from their previous relationship. Misner tweeted, "Records show she is Ariana Fletcher of Atlanta. Wright was ordered not to speak with her about the allegations." G Herbo previously pleaded guilty in his battery case involving Fletcher and was sentenced to 12 months of probation and 150 hours of community service. Fletcher has not commented on her involvement in the case. So you out there getting money, not doing it legally, but you out there getting money, and you got this beautiful woman up here. Now, she was okay with you doing what you was doing. She was okay with the credit card scams. She was okay with the credit card fraud. Matter of fact, she encouraged it. But when it all came crashing down, now she's going to be taking the stand and help putting you in prison. Now, anybody who knows G Herbo and Ari, they know that at this point in time, they have a very, very toxic relationship. They are always going at each other. it's just madness. So much madness. You always want parents to get along for the sake of the child, but in their case, it don't seem like that's possible. Don't seem like it's gonna happen. But once again, this is why I do this channel. This is why I have this show. This is why I be telling people to stop the madness. Because people that surround you when you doing foolishness, as long as they're benefiting from it, they ain't got no problem with it. Yeah, you doing something that can get you sent to prison for a long time. You doing something that can possibly get you killed. But as long as I'm benefiting from it and you breaking me off some money here and there, oh, I don't care about it. It's all good. Go ahead and continue to do what you do. See, that's a person that don't care about you at all, don't care about your well-being. And you doing all this stuff to impress bums and thought bitches. And then when you get down to the nitty gritty of it all, you realize that ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Now she's about to get on that stand and help them prosecute you when she benefited. She was benefiting from the luxury lifestyle that you was able to provide from allegedly this credit card scam. I don't recommend you doing any type of dirt. I don't recommend you letting the madness take over you. But if you do, I would highly recommend that you do it by yourself. Definitely got to do it by yourself, because really nobody's safe out here. She's gonna get on this stand. She's gonna help them put you in prison, so that way she can be cleared of any charges. They probably hit her up and said, "Yo, listen, we know he was doing this with you, and we know that he bought this, and that, and we know that he gave that to you. We know that you was living a life of luxury as well while he was doing this. And if you don't want to go to prison yourself, you better think about your baby. So if you don't want to go to prison yourself, you better help us get him." And then I'm surprised that she's named as a federal witness. No, I'm never surprised. Just same thing like with 6ix9ine. Like I knew he was gonna tell. A lot of people knew he was gonna tell. I wasn't surprised that he was gonna tell. You add the fact that he was gonna tell anyway, and then you add in the circumstances of the situation, you knew he was gonna tell. Now, do I expect her to tell? Yes. I don't expect her to leave her son, go to prison. She probably like, I'm too pretty for prison. And that's the thing. A lot of these people that you doing these illegal activities with, risking throwing away your life, risking being away from your family, you already, G Herbo already has a child, and he has another child on the way. And now he's fighting for his life and got to risk missing out on his child, his child first, first everything, because of this credit card scam. They want him in there for quite some time. 6 years is a long time to be gone. I just always try to encourage people, and nobody's perfect. I understand that. Some people feel that they have to do it. Some people feel like it's the only way. But I always try to encourage people that if you can find a better way, then try your best to find a better way. Sometimes it may take a little bit longer, but then you got to think about it. Is it taking a little bit longer? Do that beat being in prison? Do that beat being 6 feet under? That's all I'm saying. The madness must stop. Everywhere you look, there's madness. And while you out here doing all this stuff with these people and you think they got your back and you think they got your best interests at heart, you're going to find out who really had your back and who really had your best interests at heart when them indictments come. And then you realize that you in that courtroom by yourself and everybody's pointing the finger at you. and you realize everybody else didn't cut a deal. Everybody else is going home, but you ain't going home because everybody was pointing the finger at you. These same people that was saying, "Oh, this my nigga right here." You know what I'm saying? We gonna ride together. We gonna die together. We in this for life. All them thought chicks that you was trying to impress. Yeah, that's my boo. That's my baby. You know, I'm a down bitch. I'm down to ride. I'm a ride or die chick, you know. Death before dishonor. All that. You gonna find out all that was a whole bunch of BS. And when you in that cell by yourself, you're gonna be like, damn. Maybe I could have did something else. So that's like I say, you know, of course the people who I'm doing the stories on, of course they're not gonna listen to me. They not even, you know, of course they're not even gonna care what I'm talking about. But for you who's out there that may be doing something that you probably shouldn't be doing, I'm trying to get through to you. That's who I'm trying to get through to. So we just got to be careful with the choices we make, and we definitely got to be careful of the company we keep, and we definitely got to become better at surrounding ourselves with people who actually have our best interests, and not surrounding ourselves with leeches who's only in it for the benefit that we are able to provide to them. But y'all have a great day. Make sure you stop the madness. And like always, if you got a madness story that you want me to do, then go ahead and leave it in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you like crime news. It all must be stopped. Stop the madness. Start the positivity.